So getting into our practice tonight we are at the fifth limb of classical yoga, or the royal path, or Raja Yoga. It has a lot of names, but basically it's the path of yoga described by Patanjali in the Yoga Sutra. And that text is like 2 to 3 to 4,000 years old. Like, it's hard to tell how old it is at this point. And the first half, what we've already done this year, has a lot to do with the energy body and the physical body. It's the outer world, and getting everything kind of in order so that we can get to the point we're at right now to move closer to the center of consciousness and move deeper into states of meditation. So when I first started talking about the limbs back in January, I said that they weren't linear, and that was both a truth and a lie. The first 4 limbs are not linear. You can practice the yamas and niyamas, asana and pranayama all over the place and not have to include them in each other and all that. When you get to tonight, when you get to the 5th limb, Pratyahara, you do need to make sure the first 4 limbs are pretty in order. And this is kind of why we need more time during these practices, so that we can make sure that the physical body, our energy body, are all ready to go into deeper states of being. So Pratyahara on the surface is the withdrawing of the senses. And I want to make a distinction that it's not dissociation, and it's not just ignoring your senses. So trying to think of examples to give you here. It's being able to be in a noisy world and be able to turn off your awareness of it. Sort of. Like, it gets really nuanced here. So you still know that there's noise going on. That's still somewhere in your consciousness, but you're not perturbed by it. You've become, the Pratyahara is practicing being imperturbable, and that has to do with distractions around you in the physical world, and it also has to do with distractions in your body, your energy, and in your mind. So there's the ego state, and we're trying to move past that as well. Things are getting a little bit deeper here. So it's disidentifying with the noise of our existence, really. And when we can do that, when we can practice Pratyahara, we can then step into the states of meditation, which are the last 3 limbs, which we'll talk about in a month or so. We'll get there eventually. This is not an easy practice, because sometimes when we're practicing this, we do dissociate, or we can't turn off our awareness of a pain in our body, or a noise in our environment, or the fact that we had too much caffeine and we really can't settle down. So it's not easy what we do here. And again, this is why we have such a longer class in May, is to make sure that we have plenty of time to care for our system in a way that we can enter into the practice of Pratyahara more readily. And so tonight's practice, actually, I'm going to give you just a little clue of what we're going to do for the rest of the month. Tonight's practice, we're going to do kind of an introductory to Pratyahara. Next week, the practice is actually Shavasana. We'll still do a physical practice. We'll still move our bodies around, but Shavasana is like the epitome of practicing Pratyahara. You're supposed to allow yourself to be completely aware of the world, but completely unperturbed by it, a complete conscious resting state. And then the final week, so 2 weeks after that, 3 weeks from tonight, we're going to practice restorative yoga and yoga nidra, because yoga nidra is such a great practice of Pratyahara as well. So the first half of that class, that first 45 minutes, will be restorative yoga. We'll work the body still. And then we're going to go into a yoga nidra practice for the last half of that class. So hope you join me for those. Tonight, the practice, I know there's a lot of talking. Tonight, the practice, I'm calling it Antahkarana and the Koshas. Antahkarana is actually a meditation practice where you systematically turn off your awareness of the senses. And this is actually the meditation we'll do at the very end of class. But the idea is to, again, become undisturbed by the noises of our existence. Now, the koshas are the sheaths or layers of consciousness. If you've been to Yoga Nidra, you've heard me talk about this, that there are these 5 layers of mind that surround what we call the center of consciousness, or the soul. It's like a light bulb with 5 lampshades surrounding it. And the most outer layer is our bodies. It's everything around us, anything that's tangible you can touch. The second layer is our energy body, making sure that that's in balance. And then the third layer is what we call the ego mind. or the lower consciousness, if you will. It's your thoughts, it's the attachments, it's the aversions, it's kind of the mind that kind of does all the movement and kind of causes all the havoc. And then the other two layers are the witnessing consciousness, where you can be aware of everything and less disturbed by it. And then there's the bliss state, where you're just really starting to detach any kind of attachment to the world. And then finally, we have the center of consciousness. And so when we think about pratyahara, it is turning off awareness of these certain mind states. And so we have the physical body, we start to turn that off. And then we start to turn off our awareness or disidentify with the energetic state. And then we start to disidentify with the movements of our consciousness. And then we become aware of the consciousness. But even then, we start to not really even care what's going on in the world around us. We start to really just not be so involved with it. And we start to move closer to that deeper state of consciousness. And that's where meditation takes us at that point. So I know that was a very lengthy explanation, but these deeper states require it. So let's go ahead and get centered, please. That's why we have so much time tonight, so we can chat all about it. So allowing your eyes to close, feel the spine grow tall. Take a deep breath in and out. And allow your breath to become effortless. Notice when you're forcing the inhale or when you're forcing the exhale, and just see if you can soften that movement, soften that effort. And then see if you can soften all movement of your body other than the movement of your breath in your body. The state of stillness or steadiness is called kaya sthira. You're not still because you're holding yourself that way. You're still because you're allowing yourself to just not move. So don't move. This is our intro step toward pratyahara, to be able to be with what's there, our physical body, our energetic body, and the mind, without reacting to it. So I ask you to be still. You might start to notice prickling on the skin, like a need to itch or move, adjust your seat. Don't do it. You can acknowledge that there is a discomfort, of course, but it's just a discomfort. It's not dangerous. We don't have to have a knee-jerk response to it. It's just sensation. It's just sensation. And as we hold the body still, you'll start to notice your mind moving. And so to help the mind find some semblance of steadiness or stillness, let the mind be focused on the effortless breath. Maybe it's the flow of breath in the nostrils, maybe it's a gentle movement of your body, but focus on that breath. We'll continue to work with this concept and others, but for now, let's chant Om 3 times. Taking a deep breath in to begin. Bring your palms to your heart and lower the chin. Honor yourself as you are in this moment, body, breath, energy, and mind. Go ahead and rub the palms together. Take the heated palms over your eyes, brushing over the top of your head, down your neck, welcoming yourself back to the room. And go ahead and move your props off to the side for now and come on to hands and knees, table pose. Good. Bringing the hands under your shoulders, knees beneath the hips or slightly further back. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, back up again. And exhale, child's pose. Good, let's do that one more time. Hands and knees, inhale. And child's pose, exhale. Inhale back up to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, lift into downward facing dog. Good, we'll stay here for 3 breaths. You can walk it out if you want to, or you can just hold it still. One more breath. And let's go ahead and warm up a bit with our Danda Kriya flow. So with your inhale, come into plank pose. With your exhale, bend your elbows in towards your waist, bring your heart 1 inch from the floor. And then inhale, press the arms straight, take the shoulders back, knees are off the ground and you're on the tops of the feet. And then exhale, pull yourself back into downward facing dog. Let's do that again. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. 3 more times. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. And downward facing. 2 more times on your own, moving with your breath. Good, landing in downward facing dog. And then go ahead and come into plank pose. Good, now in plank pose, you can take a deep breath in. With your exhale, bring a knee or either knee into your chest and then place the foot back down. And then bring the opposite knee into your chest and place the foot back down. And just keep going, one side, then the other. One side, then the other. I like to exhale as I bring the knee in. You might find that to be helpful. And the hips might raise a little bit here to make room for the knee. Just make sure you're not like way up high, like in a half down dog. You still want to be rather in plank pose. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Downward facing dog. Good. Feeling sensation, the belly, the back, the arms. And then float down onto hands and knees. And then exhale, Balasana, child's pose. Take an adjusting breath here. And then go ahead and roll yourself up to a seat. We're going to come to sit on our heels. We'll be here for a little bit. So if you want to sit on a block, you can, if you have a yoga block handy. Excuse me, just place it between your feet. And if at the end of the day, this is just terribly uncomfortable, just come to your cross-legged seat, maybe sitting on a blanket, okay? And we're gonna practice Bhastrika Pranayama, which is the bellows breath. And so unlike Kapalabhati, which we more regularly practice in this class, Bhastrika is a forced inhale and a forced exhale from the abdomen. And because it's forced on both the inhale and exhale, it tends to be a slower breath than Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati, we tend to go, because we're doing we're gonna be doing more effort with Bhastrika, we slow it down a bit. So it's, again, the breath is coming from the belly. Now, even with what I was just doing now is quite a quick pace for Bhastrika. So if you need to, you can slow it down even further. Okay, breathing through the nose the entire time. So go ahead and make sure you're sitting tall. And if you need to make sure that the belly is the part of your body that's moving, you can place your dominant hand over the abdomen. If not, just relax it down. Take just a couple of breaths, attuning to your breath. Aware of the inhale, aware of the exhale, and the movement of your abdomen. Good. So we're going to practice for about a minute or so, Bhastrika. Okay, so start off slowly, especially if you're new to the practice. And you can pick up the pace if you're starting to feel more comfortable. So when you're ready, push the belly forward, inhale, pull it back, exhale. Push forward, inhale, pull it back, exhale. These are pretty sharp movements. Three, two, and one. Relax the breath. Feel sensation, fire stoked at the navel, maybe a clearing in the mind. Just feeling the energetic effect of that practice. It's stimulating, but it's also samavritti. It's also the even breath. And so there's this balancing quality to the pranayama, helping to bring harmony to your system. Taking a deeper, fuller breath. Good. All right. So this is not going to be a great transition, but we're just going to come up to standing. Normally I guide you through the process, but we have a lot to do. So just come on up to standing in any way that feels great for you. If your legs are feeling a little crampy from sitting on them, just shake them out a bit. Beautiful. Then we're going to come into a wide leg stance and have your toes pointing directly forward or even pigeon toeing a little bit, okay? Now, just to get the backs of our legs a little bit warmed up, go ahead and take your arms out to the side, take a deep breath in. With your exhale, hinge at the hips and fold down over your legs. Good. Inhale, reverse that movement. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way back up. And we're just going to fold forward again. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, come all the way back up, strong back. Exhale, folding down. Let's do a few more of these on your breath, okay? Lifting up, inhale, and folding forward, exhale. Let's do just one more, folding down, exhale. And then inhale, come all the way back up and just release the arms down. Good. So now we're going to do some twisting. So take the arms out to the side. You can watch me do a round first if you'd like to. I'm going to take a deep breath in, and I'm going to be twisting to my left. So I'm going to bend the left knee, sweep my right hand down in front of that foot or as close to as I can, and then finish the exhale, rolling the top shoulder back. And then inhale, I'm going to come back up, and then exhale, we'll do the other side, okay? So we bend the knee toward the leg that we're twisting from, and yeah, let's give it a try. Take the arms out to the side, take a deep breath in, exhale, bend your left knee, bring your right hand down, roll the left shoulder back, and then inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, bend your right knee, bring the left hand down in front of the foot, roll the right shoulder back. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, up, and exhale, twist to the right. And back up. Let's keep going. Exhale, twist. And rise. Exhale, twist. From side to side. We haven't done too much for the spine yet, so take your time with this one. You don't have to torque yourself all the way into the pose. It might take a few rounds before we get there. Again, bending the knee of the leg that we're twisting towards. Exhale, twisting. Inhale, unwinding. Building strength in the back. Getting a little bit of mobility in the shoulders here. From side to side. Keep going. We're almost there. So the next time you come back up to standing from the right foot, go ahead and relax. Good, and feel sensation once that movement has stopped. Maybe you feel it in the shoulders, maybe it's in the spine, maybe you felt it down into your hips or the hamstrings, maybe all of it, maybe none of that. Good, and then take a deep breath in, sweep the arms up. And exhale, fold down over, or I should say between the legs. Good. Now from this posture, from this forward fold, please bring your hands onto your hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then scoop the heart forward and bring your chest parallel to the ground. So looking straight down at the floor. Now soften the knees just a hair here. Don't lock the knees. And we're just going to float here for a bit. Now I'm going to give you some other options here as well. So what we're doing right now is probably the more simpler version of the pose. If you want to make this a bit more challenging, you can take the arms out to the side, airplane arms. Breathing. Now, if you really want to go for it, you can extend both arms straight forward, palms facing one another like you're holding a beach ball in front of your head. Again, don't lock the knees. Breathe. We're going to stay for about 15 more seconds. It's a long 15 seconds. Good. Take a deep breath in. And then from wherever you were at, go ahead and fold forward, hands on the floor. Taking an adjusting breath. Then with your hands or fingertips on the ground, go ahead and bring yourself up halfway. Bend both knees forward, sink the hips down, coming into a squat. Now your chest and your hips are in the same level plane. So try to make sure that's happening, that you're not sitting up too much or that you're not dipping forward too far, right on the same plane. Now from here, you can either take your hands onto your hips. Again, this is a simpler version. If you want to make it more interesting, you could take the arms out to the sides. If you want to be the most interesting person in the room, just kidding. But if you want to, you can take the arms forward, again, like you're holding a beach ball in front of your head. So whichever version you want to do, deep breaths into that. It's okay to change your mind. Staying for about 10 more seconds. Deep breath in. Don't collapse. Bring the hands down, then straighten the legs, folding forward. Good job. Can you take deep breaths into any areas of discomfort? Just imagine it melting away. Just like when we were practicing Kaya Sthira earlier, that it's just sensation. It's discomfort. Yes, it's uncomfortable, and yes, we'd rather it not be there, but it is there. And can we be okay even though there is discomfort present? Sweeping the arms out to the side, that strong back lift all the way up, probably feeling it then. Go ahead and release the arms on down. Good. So we're gonna do one more exercise with our legs wide. And this time I'm gonna have you take the toes out to the side. So you can either flip the toes out or you can cut the heels in. But either way, toes out about 45 degrees. And your hands can be on the hips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees out to the sides. And inhale, come back up. We're gonna move in and out a few times before we hold. It's just kind to our bodies to let us know where we're going before we get there. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, sinking in. Good, straightening the legs. So once we come back into the pose here in just a moment, we're gonna be practicing Bhastrika again, the bellows breath, the forced inhale and exhale from the belly. Couple of options, as always. You can have your hands on your hips. You can take your arms into cactus arms, or you can take the arms straight overhead. And that's kind of how it goes as far as levels of difficulty, all right? We're gonna go for about a minute, but we've been doing long holds and, and taking our time with everything tonight anyway. So you're already ready for it. You can already do it. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, sink down deep. Bring your arms into whatever position feels like it's going to be the most sustainable for you. And again, it's okay to change your mind. And then take a deep breath in. Let's begin. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, release the arms. Deep breaths here, especially if you're feeling lightheaded. Deep breaths. Just notice how you feel with this practice. Even though you were holding that pose for a while, you actually may be more aware of your energetic state than your physical state at this point. You might feel like an uplifting of energy, a brightness. I feel like a clearing of the mind. Maybe it feels like the mind is quieter. Good, and then go ahead and bring yourself on back. Great job. And let's step to the top of your mat, whichever direction that is for you. If you need a drink of water, go ahead and do so. Vastrika is technically, well, it's a pranayama, but it's technically a cleansing technique. So if stuff comes out or your throat starts to feel a bit drier, it's because we're moving things out. And drinking plenty of water, especially after tonight's class, is going to be good for you. So we're going to move through a warrior sequence. So starting with the feet stacking underneath your hips, bring your palms to your heart. Let's add in our chair flow. Most of you, if not all of you, know this one. So with your inhale, sweep the arms down, back, and up. Exhale, bend both knees, sweep your arms behind you, chair prep. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, chair pose. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, straighten the legs. And exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Palms to shins, come halfway up. And exhale, step back to downward facing dog. We'll move through Kriya, plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. In down dog, lift your right leg high. And then step the right foot forward. Turn your back foot flat to the floor, toes pointing forward a little bit, prepping for warrior one. Bend the right knee a bit. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, coming into Virabhadrasana, warrior one. Good. With your next inhale, straighten the right knee. Think about hinging from your hips, extend the arms forward and fold down over the right leg. Stay for the inhale. And then exhale carefully, step back to downward facing dog. And we'll do Kriya again. Inhale, plank, chaturanga, upward facing to downward facing. Left leg lifts, step the foot on through, help it forward, back foot flat on the floor, toes pointing forward, prepping for warrior one. Bend the right knee, left knee, and then sweep the arms forward and up. Warrior pose. Good. Straighten the left knee, inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold down over that leg. Stay for the inhale. And this time, step the right foot forward, Uttanasana, the standing forward fold. Palms to shins, halfway up. And exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up, inhale. And palms to your heart. We're going to keep this energy moving. Inhale, sweep up. Chair prep. Chair pose. Good. Lifting, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Palms to shins. Exhale, fold down, step back to downward facing dog. Moving through Kriya. Returning to downward facing dog. Once you get there, go ahead and lift the right leg high and step it on through. Back foot flat to the floor, toes pointing forward, bend the right knee, warrior one, inhale. Staying for the exhale. Good, straighten the leg and fold down over it. Deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, Kriya. Returning to down dog. When you're there, lift the left leg high and step it through. Back foot flat, bend the left knee, come on up. Good. Inhale, straighten the left knee. Exhale, fold down over it. Deep breath in. And exhale, step the right foot forward, Uttanasana. Palms to shins halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Sweep the arms out to the side. Come all the way up, inhale. Palms to the heart. Again, inhale, sweep up. Chair prep. Chair pose. Lift. And fold. Halfway. Downward facing dog. Danda Kriya. From down dog, lift the right leg up and step it through. Back foot flat, warrior one. When you're ready, come on up, inhale. Good, straighten the leg, inhale. Fold over at exhale. Deep breath in. And step back again, down dog. Optional this time. You can stay in down dog or move through Danda Kriya. Pick your practice. And then from downward dog, lift the left leg up and step it through. Back foot flat, warrior one. Good, straighten the left leg and fold over it. Deep breath in. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Palms to shins, Ardha Uttanasana, coming halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up, inhale. And palms to the heart. 2 more rounds, sweep up. Chair prep. Chair pose. Lifting up, inhale. Exhale, fold down. Palms to shins. And down. Good. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Moving through Danda Kriya once you get there. And once you land back in down dog, pick the right leg up and step it through. Back foot flat. Warrior one, come on up. Good. Straighten the right leg. And let's fold over it. Deep breath in. And step on back, downward dog. Optional Danda Kriya. And then from downward facing dog, lift the left leg up and step it through. Back foot flat, warrior. Lift, fold. Inhale. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Again, halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up. Palms to the heart. One more time. Lift the arms. Chair prep. Chair pose. Good. Straighten the legs. Exhale, fold forward. Palms to shins. Good. And down, stepping back to downward facing dog. Danda Kriya. And then from down dog, lifting the right leg up, step it on through. Back foot flat, warrior one. Good, straighten the knee. Fold. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Last Danda Kriya. Let's go through it together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Left leg lifts. Step it through. Back foot flat. Warrior one. Good. Straighten the knee. Exhale, fold over it. Inhale. Exhale, step forward. Palms to shins, halfway up. And exhale down. All the way up. And palms to your heart. Feel sensation. If it helps, you can close the eyes. Especially when we think about Pratyahara and turning off the senses. The eyes are, sight is easy. We can just close the eyelids. And it allows us to pay attention inward, what's happening in the physical body. How do we feel energetically? We're more able to be aware of the movements of your mind. Good, and then go ahead and bring your awareness on back. And for our next exercise, you may need a block. We're gonna be playing around with revolved triangle or twisting triangle. So I'll demonstrate real quick because sometimes it's helpful to be able to see it. So I'm gonna start at the top of my mat and I'm just gonna have my block nearby. I'm gonna step my left foot way back. Now, the back foot is pointing straight out to the side, like straight out, not forward, coming into more of a warrior two stance. And then I'll take my arms out to the side, parallel to the legs. I'll take a deep breath in. Then exhale, I'll twist to look forward. My right foot is forward. My left hand is going to sweep around to come to the floor or to the block next to the right foot. Now, it's going to be tempting just to continue to take that back arm into the air. Instead, you're going to sweep it forward, inhale, and then roll it back. You actually get more torque in the shoulder here in a good way to stay in the twist. All right. So do your best. I'll lead you through it still. So from the front of your mat, step your left foot back foot flat, out to the side. If you're using a block, have it next to your right foot. Take the arms out, take a deep breath in. Exhale, twist to look forward, keep twisting, twist, twist. Bring the left hand down to the inside of the right foot. And then take the right arm down, sweep it forward, inhale. And then exhale, rotate that right shoulder back, wrapping the left chest toward your right thigh. Now, if it's too much to have the hand in the air, bring it down onto your hip, but keep the shoulder working back. Good. The next note for this pose is your neck. Sometimes it's too hard to look up the hand in the air. It's too much crunching in the neck. That's okay. You can look forward or you can even look downward. And the next thing I'll mention is try not to collapse onto your left shoulder. It's easy to just kind of throw all the weight and drop the head here. Don't do that. Keep some extension on the left side of the neck as well as the right. Keep the right shoulder working back. And more notes. Keep the back foot, pinky edge of that foot on the ground. It's going to want to pick up. Keep it grounded. And breathe. Three, two, and one. Just fold over the right leg for a moment. And then take your time as you pick yourself back up. Feeling sensation. Now we have to do the other side. Go ahead and step your left foot forward and take your right foot back. Left foot forward, right foot back foot flat on the floor, pointing out to the side. If you're going to use a block, bring it to the inside of your left foot. Take the arms out to the side, take a deep breath in. Exhale, twist to look forward. Keep on twisting. Bring the right hand down next to the left foot, either onto the block or the floor. And then drop the left arm down. Inhale, sweep it forward. Exhale, roll it back, coming into twisting triangle. Good. Now again, if it's too much to have the hand in the air, just bring it onto your hip, but keep the left shoulder rotating. Think about wrapping your right chest toward your left thigh. If you can't look up, that's okay. You can look forward or down. Keep the back foot flat on the floor. and breathe. Piece of cake. And also don't collapse onto your right shoulder. Keep some length on that right side of the neck. Three, two, and one. Just fold over the left leg for a moment. And take your time as you pull yourself back up. And again, as we come out of this pose, it's an invitation to go inward for a moment, to notice what is happening here in this system. One is so that you have awareness of it, so you can tend to anything that needs to be tended to. The other thing is that there's an idea that everything in the universe wants to be acknowledged, wants to be seen. And so by witnessing your experience, it becomes less distracting to you because you've been with it. You're like, yes, I can feel my spine has been twisted. I can feel that my leg has been stretched. I see you, I feel you. There's less grasping of attention. So we're going to make another kind of stark transition to the floor, but you can just watch me first if you want to as you come down. We're going to come into Viparita Karani, or half shoulder stand. And so for those of you who know how to practice that, just come on into it. But for the rest of us, you're going to come down onto your back into bridge prep. Feet flat on the floor, heels about hip width apart, stacking underneath your knees. And if you want to, you can go in and out of bridge pose a few times. But once you've kind of gotten used to that posture, you're going to bend your elbows, have them as close to your side as you can, fingertips pointing toward the ceiling. Walking the feet back toward your body, you're going to grab hold of your body around your waistband and then kick the knees into your chest. Before you go any further here, turn the hands around so that you're cupping the hips, and then extend the legs toward the ceiling, toes in line with your eyes, okay? And we'll hang out here for just a little bit. Now, if you don't want to go upside down, don't. You could lay on your back, hugging your knees to chest. You could also go up against a wall and do legs up the wall instead. That's there for you. But for those of you who are practicing Viparita Karani half shoulder stand, I'll walk you through the steps if you're not in it already. So bridge prep, lifting the hips, maybe going in and out a couple of times. And walking your feet toward your body, coming onto the balls of the feet, grabbing hold of the waistband, kicking the knees into your chest. Do your best there. Turn your hands around so you're cupping the hips. And then if you want to, extend the legs toward the ceiling, toes in line with the eyes. So the feet aren't all the way overhead. This also isn't full shoulder stand. We're still resting the weight of the body through the hips into the hands. Now relax your jaw and throat. Relax your breath. Be as still as possible here. I know it's hard, but try. We're going to stay for a little bit longer. If you need to come down early, do so. Then please bring your knees into your chest. Carefully bring the hips back down to the floor, the feet to the floor, and before you make any other movements, just stop and just be with what's there before you try to adjust, before you counterpose, before you respond. Just be with it, whatever it is. And then begin to take a deeper breath. And take your time. When you're ready, please roll over onto your abdomen. That might take more effort than it usually does. Okay. Once you are on your belly, bring your hands flat to the floor underneath your shoulders and squeeze your elbows in toward your sides. With an exhale, ground your pelvis down into the earth. With your next inhale, lift your head, chest, and legs, come into locust pose. Exhale, float back down. Inhale, come back into it. Head, chest, and legs. Exhale, float back down. Inhale, float up. And again, down. We're going to hold this next time, all right? So grounding the pelvis, squeeze on up, head, chest, and legs. If your eyes are open, focus to a single non-moving point. Steady your breath. Squeeze the elbows in toward your sides. 3, 2, don't collapse. 1, slowly float down. And it might be far from where you want to be right now, but downward facing dog, take your time. And this time in down dog, we want to feel extension in your spine, a bit more than in your legs. So bend your knees a bit, and then shoot the hips powerfully toward the ceiling behind you. And then float down onto hands and knees, and come to a seat. Bring your legs out in front of you, please. So there's different layers to this next practice. The first, we're gonna be doing a twist. You can just bring a knee into the chest, and this is as far as you go. And you'll twist, and you'll still get a great twist in. The other is to bring the foot across the opposite side. And if it doesn't ground, bring it back. But if it does come flat to the floor, go ahead and just keep it there, and we'll twist that way. The third and most difficult option is to take the extended leg and tuck it back behind you and sit back down. Now, if you're doing this, both hip bones are flat on the floor. You're not leaning to one side and trying to do some weird twisting here. The right hip has to be on the floor as well. In this case, the right foot, the right hip, okay? So go ahead and bring your right knee in. And if you can, take it across to the opposite side of the left leg. Now, if it doesn't go, bring it back to the inside. Now, if it does ground on the opposite side, you can try to just kind of lean over, bend the left knee in, and see if you can get both hips on the ground. Now, if you do this and your right hip is popping up even a little bit, extend that left leg forward again, all right? Now, in whichever version you're in, it's the right hand that's going to go right behind your spine. When you press the hand into the floor, it makes you sit up a bit taller. And then go ahead and reach that left arm up, inhale. Exhale, sweep the arm around, hook the knee and twist, looking over your right shoulder. Let's breathe here. Good. With your next inhale, go ahead and unwind and uncross. Good. So same rules apply for doing this practice on the other side. So please bring your left foot in. And if you can, take it to the outside of your right leg. Now, if it doesn't ground, again, bring it back to the inside. But if it does ground, you can try to bend the right knee and bring both hips flat to the floor. If that doesn't happen, re-extend the right leg. Now it's the left knee that's on top. It's the left hand that goes behind your spine. Press the palm into the floor, sit up tall, and reach the right arm up with an inhale. Exhale, reach the right arm around, hook the knee and twist, looking over your left shoulder. And we'll stay for a few breaths. All right, with an inhale, carefully unwind and uncross. Good. So now we're going to come into Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. And so you'll bring the soles of the feet together. Now, to help you out here, you could sit on a folded blanket or two, which I'm going to do because why not? You could also sit on a block if you want to. Raising the hips will just give you a few more inches in the spine, which just allows you to go into this pose a bit deeper. But if you don't have either, don't worry about it. You'll go as far as you go. So you can hold on to your shins or your ankles here. Some of you with longer arms might be able to hold onto the pinky edge of the feet, but only do so if you're not rounding the back. The goal of this posture, other than stretching the hips and folding forward, is to keep the spine elongated, okay? So take a deep breath in, feel the spine grow, and then think about the hips being a hinge, just like some of the other postures we've done tonight. And then just hinge there and see how far you can bring the heart forward. If you start to round the back, pull out a bit, back to the point where you can keep the back flat. And just take your time with it and breathe. You'll go as far as you go, and that's fine tonight. Breathing deeply. 3 more deep breaths. And then take your time as you come back up to a tall seat. Sitting with whatever awareness you have at this moment, your body, your energetic state, the state of mind or states of mind. Acknowledging what's there. Right. When you're ready, please come onto your back for a longer Shavasana than we normally take. As I mentioned briefly, Shavasana is one of the quintessential postures we can use to practice Pratyahara. So all of our practices this month will include some longer resting. So come lay down, make any adjustments you need to make yourself comfortable, bring any support to your system that you might need. Maybe you need a drink of water, maybe you need a blanket under your pillow as a pillow, a blanket as a blanket. Do whatever you need to do to be comfortable because we'll be here for a little bit longer than we usually do. If you're still making your way to Shavasana, continue to take your time. But if you're there already, make any final adjustments to make yourself 10 to 15% more comfortable. And become aware of your body and the space occupied by your body. Without analyzing it too much, just have compassion for this body. It has a story to tell. It's experienced a lot. It's experienced a lot even in the last hour. And yet it remains. It's still here, serving you to the best of its ability. Give this body permission to rest. Let this body rest. And as the body starts to unwind, that still might take a little bit longer, but as it does, there's this energetic movement in your system. It might be hyper, it might be lethargic, but notice that. Might feel tired or restless. Even that energy that's moving, however it's showing up in its quality right now, it's also been serving you your entire life. It's experienced a lot. If only for this moment can the energy of your body just relax, letting go of attachment to needing to be restless or anxious, letting go of attachments to needing to feel lethargic or unmovable, just allowing, giving permission for that rest. And that again might take a bit longer to cultivate, but as you do, there is the movement of your mind. Oh, how the mind works so hard for us. Every thought, every impulse. It doesn't have to do that right now. Give the mind permission, if only for this moment, to relax, to relax. And like the watchful moon, you are simply observing your body, energy, and mind relaxing. Peace, peace, peace. This body resting, this energy resting, this mind doing its best to rest. Go ahead and take a deeper breath into this system, nourishing you with that big inhale, relieving you with that big exhale. Start to make gentle movements in the hands and feet, your arms and legs. And then go ahead and roll to your right. Stay there for a couple of breaths. And then come on up to a seat. And as you come to a seat, make sure you're in a comfortable meditative seat. We'll be here for a while. So you can bring support underneath your hips. You want to cover yourself with a shawl or a blanket or any other adjustments you need to rest comfortably in a meditative seat. So sitting tall, relax your shoulders down your back, feel the crown lift, and become aware of the movement of your abdomen. In a moment, we'll begin the practice of Bastrika, the bellows breath, as we've practiced it already tonight. But this time, I'd like you to do it at a quarter capacity. So beforehand, you were fully inhaling, fully exhaling. I want both the movement and the capacity of your breath to be only 25% of that. So it'll be a lighter breath. Just almost like a sniff in and a sniff out, okay? We'll do that for about a minute to a minute and a half. Go at your own pace and take a break if you need to. When you're ready, please begin. Keep it light. Keep the movement happening in the abdomen. Three, two, and one. Relax the breath. Find yourself in Kayasthira, absolute steadiness, no movement other than the light breath, and let that breath be effortless. with the body and the breath steady. Become aware of sound, starting with sounds furthest away from you, sounds outside of the space you're in. You don't have to spend any energy identifying what you hear. Just be aware of the fact that you do hear sound. Then allow yourself to become aware of any sounds nearby, sounds within the room you're in. If it's quiet enough, you might even hear the sound of your own breathing. Don't spend any energy identifying what you hear, just be aware of it. Now, as I mentioned before, that everything in the universe wants to be acknowledged. And so that now that you've acknowledged sound, we've given it its due, it's less inclined to be a distraction to us. So turn your awareness now away from sound into the points of contact your body makes with the floor. And then notice the points of contact your body makes with clothing. Notice the points of contact your body makes with air, the exposed surfaces, the temperature on the skin. Notice the points of contact that the body makes with itself, the legs and feet touching each other as the legs are crossed, your hands on your knees or thighs, the sides of your arms resting against the sides of your body, your tongue resting in your mouth, the points where the lips touch, the points where the eyelids meet. And bring your awareness to your sense of sight. Even with the eyes closed, know that you're looking at the back of your eyelids. You might even sense diffused light coming in through the eyelids. Be aware of sight. And then become aware of your sense of smell. Maybe there's a lingering scent in the air, or maybe you're not aware of any smell, but you know that you have scent. There is a sense of scent, of smell. And then bring your awareness to your sense of taste. However pronounced or not pronounced that taste might be aware of your sense of taste. Bring your awareness to the sensation of your breath in your nostrils. Feeling of the breath, the back of your throat. the sensation of the breath filling the lungs and emptying from the lungs. Without forcing the breath, be aware of any movement of the abdomen. Hear your own name in your head and bring your awareness to that point at the center of the brain. From this point, I'd like you to become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of your mind, as if you were watching them on a screen or hearing them on a speaker. The first one just might be that you are now aware of your thoughts. And as you're observing your consciousness, don't judge anything you see and don't try to control anything you see. Just watch, just observe. Maybe there's a light curiosity. Maybe the thoughts are moving quickly or slowly. Maybe the thoughts feel random, or maybe they're following a linear path. Be aware of your thoughts. If you find yourself getting involved with anything you see, judging it or trying to change it, step back and simply observe. And begin to infuse another quality into this experience, one of compassion for these thoughts. Each one of these thoughts, in its own way, at its core, is trying to serve you and help you, or even protect you. Might not always be in the way that would be ideal, but that is the core intention of each of these impulses. So have compassion for your mind, that it serves you. It works so hard to help you. And then ask yourself the question, who is the one observing? Who's the one that's watching these thoughts, that's having compassion for these thoughts? Become aware of the witnessing consciousness. The aspect of you that can watch the mind without getting involved, and that can hold compassion, calm, and grace. It's your own steady center, the eye of a storm. It's not identified with the movements of the mind and body or the world that surrounds it. It is steady, calm, and compassionate at all times. Be with that center of you. keeping a connection to this witness conscious. Remember your body, remember your breath. When you're ready, take a deeper, fuller breath. Bring your palms together in front of you, bowing the chin and just honoring that still center within and your ability to access it, however far you were able to go with that. And may that steady center and this practice continue to serve you. Namaste.